every Sunday or every opportunity I get a chance to spread the gospel, to spread the good news, because I know somebody is stuck at home and can't get out the house in this pandemic, and they need a word of hope, they need a word of encouragement.
And so now, after going through that challenge just a year ago you were barely walking without a cane. Now we find ourselves in the year of the coronavirus, from March until now, and it'll be going on even further past now. What has the challenge been as a pastor trying to pastor a congregation during the coronavirus?
Well, when we speak of this pandemic and we speak of COVID-19, we talk about something that has impacted everybody in this country and even in this world in some shape, form, or fashion. A lot of times, I think we tend to turn a blind eye to some world issues if it does not affect us directly. But COVID-19 has impacted all of our lives, whether socially, emotionally, mentally, financially, economically, spiritually, whatever it may be. It has affected everybody. And I think as a pastor, this is one of the greatest times for us to show the body of Christ. When I say the body of Christ, I mean the church as a whole, how effective we can be even in a global pandemic, even in a crisis. Is a time when we should show the love of Christ and encourage believers, because people were already going through things prior to this pandemic, and to add this pandemic to it only made things worse. And so I think as a pastor, there's a grand opportunity for us to show, even in this, God is still able to work out whatever you're going through. So it's a time definitely to preach and teach encouragement and hope, and not to be so stressed, and that prayer still works even in the midst of a pandemic. And
how have you gone about your preaching and teaching work over the last 4 or 5 months?
So I've made it my mission pretty much to be on Facebook Live, social media outlets, every Sunday or every opportunity I get a chance to spread the gospel, to spread the good news, because I know somebody is stuck at home and can't get out the house in this pandemic, and they need a word of hope, they need a word of encouragement. So I've decided to do that, to bring light to the gospel of Jesus Christ, even in the midst of what we're facing.
How do you think this pandemic will change, or do you think it will change the way church operates going forward?
Well, I think it depends on the culture of the church. I don't want to speak to the church holistically or the body of Christ as a whole, because different churches have different cultures. Some people it will affect, it would change, it will bring people back to church that hadn't been to church. But then there was those people or those churches that are just complacent and not really concerned about the ministry in the first place. And those are the people that'll be stagnant, and you'll never see growth out of. Yes, sir.
So as we move through the pandemic, and as you continue to teach and preach, have you seen any growth with some young people that you interact with on social media that you've had a chance to reach out to?
Yes, sir. I think every Sunday, some young person or shoot me a Facebook message or so and say, listen, I enjoyed your sermon. The funny thing about all of this is I never preached really on social media prior to the pandemic. And so almost the 5,000 Facebook friends I have are listening to me for the first time during this pandemic preach. So I think that's been, in my favor somewhat.